stream. Perfect. Welcome everybody to the 7th session of the Oregon Citizen Assembly pilot on COVID recovery. Thanks so much for being here, and on a 7th session that wasn't even originally planned, but you wanted to spend more time together doing more stuff. So thank you very much for your dedication to all of this. I am going to share my screen here. So last time we finalized the core principles, and then a typo committee sort of made some little typo changes to the principles, but nothing content related was their mission. You also heard from final witnesses in each of the two halves of the panel. You identified potential recommendations and reported those back to the full panel. And as I said, you nominated that typo committee that met, I believe, on Monday. Just as a reminder, your guiding question, as always, is what do you see as relationships between the pandemic and inequalities in social and economic structures, and so on. And I just wanted to show you what those 6 principles ended up being. You'll remember a couple of them got combined. So these are and I've just highlighted the first sentence or phrase to make them easier for myself to read as quickly as possible. Number 1, and these are in order by how you ranked them as far as importance. Oregon's response to COVID-19 should be guided by the best science and research currently available. Number 2, every person has a right to safe, clean, and livable housing. Number 3, health and economy are closely integrated. Number 4, all jobs fill a specific need and everything should be done to make sure those jobs continue to exist. Number 5, essential service workers should get hazard pay. Number 6, ensure health and safety for students, teachers, staff, and their respective households in the process of engaging all students while acquiring their education. Now today, you're going to be focused solely on recommendations. So you may remember you had drafted up, identified some potential recommendations last time, and we sent you those in the mail. Hopefully you've got those. If you don't, it's okay, they'll be on screen, but maybe just in small font. You'll combine similar recommendations and you'll deliberate on which ones are the most important based on the number of criteria. And then you'll vote in each of your issue groups on which ones should move forward. And they'll need a 2/3 majority in order to, a super majority, just kind of like the legislature does sometimes, in order to move forward. Then you'll go into smaller groups and revise the ones that made it out of there, that got the supermajority and sort of are going to end up being the final recommendations. You're going to edit those and report them back to the rest of the assembly. And then at the very end, and this is actually slightly out of order, we're going to do the closing first, just so Jenna can prepare the Zoom poll in time to do a final vote and approve the recommendations. Again, 2/3 majority of the panel equals approval. So that's what it's going to happen. So at the end of the day today, if all goes well, you'll have these 6 principles. We already have those, and then you'll have a number, maybe 2 or 3 core recommendations under each topic, and that'll be your final report. And next week, as you remember, you'll come back and there'll be a formal presentation of the results of your findings to the public, and we really hope that you can be there. It's not required and not paid, but we'll be doing a little poll in between now and then to figure out who among you would like to present the group's final recommendations, and who will be able to be there on next Thursday. It'll just be half an hour, 6 to 6:30 a week from today. All right, that's all that I think I need to say. Let me just put up so that I have it here, so I can show you what it looks like. These are all the recommendations that you're about to see on screen in your small groups, but you also, this is exactly the same as what you have in paper form if you got the letter from us. The core principles in their final form are also here, so you can ask the moderators to show you those. If you want to refer to those, that would be a great thing to refer to. And just as a brief introduction here, the thing that you're looking for are these top 2 or 3 recommendations within your issue area to give to the Oregon legislature, specifically to send to the legislature, since that's who's asking the question. Now, these may be useful to other local government or other folks, but the core audience is the state legislature. So that's who you're looking to send recommendations to. And here's sort of things to consider. There's the guiding question. That's does the recommendation answer that? Is the recommendation aligned with our core principles? Can you tie it to those? Is it based on strong and reliable information? You may remember that you had that sheet of sort of list of what constitutes strong and reliable information that we mailed to you a few weeks ago. So refer to that. Think about the information you've received, because the thing is, when your issue group, say it's education, picks one of these, or two or three of these recommendations to move forward, you're then going to have to come back to the full group, a full panel at the end of the day today, and some representative of that group will be tasked with telling the other half of the panel, okay, these are our two or three recommendations, and here's why. It matches up with principle number 6, and it's based on, you may remember the speaker that we heard from back in session such and such. That's the kind of information that you'll want to be thinking about when you prioritize these or identify which of these recommendations are the ones that should move forward. All right, with that, let's move into those 2 issue groups and begin.